Are you a lifelong fan of General Hospital?
Are you a new fan who wants to know more about the history of the show?
Do you enjoy talking about the show with others?
Do you find yourself yelling at the TV?
Is your self-care an hour a day in Port Charles?
If so, we invite you to join hosts
Amanda Kimmel
and Shannon Coach at the place where all the hidden conversations take place and secrets are revealed.
Meet us at Pier 54,
a General Hospital fan podcast.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the Port Charles 411. Today we are talking about Chet Driscoll.
My favorite character to see walking around.
I was going to say, I'm like, is he really your favorite character though?
To see walking around, yes.
Okay.
He did look good in teal too. Terry this week was like, teal is definitely your color. Yes, it is.
Yes. So Chet might seem like a new character, but he's not.
Does that say the actor's birthday is 1990?
It sure does.
All
We're going to get into that in a second.
I'm just going to stop then. Never mind. He's a baby. I am too old. That would officially make me a cougar.
So he is played by actor Chris Van Etten, and he came to Port Charles. Well, he came on screen in 2017.
Yep.
Is when we first learned about him. And part of why we're doing the 411 is because he actually has like he has a really good background that he should have stayed.
Yes.
So we tried to find videos on YouTube. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his own playlist or videos. He was part of in Maxie's sideline,
right.
I guess. And I just didn't have enough time to weed through all of that and watch. But I'm a little disappointed in even what's written online about him. Our typically tried and true General Hospital fandom has like 2 paragraphs. So we're going to focus on SoapCentral.com's Who's Who in Port Charles. So we've heard him mention that he was a bartender at the Floating Rib.
Uh-huh.
He's also the gym manager at Volonino's.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
that was a weird interaction between him and Sunny this week.
Yeah. There's a couple things that now that I'm thinking about, like, because we also forgot to mention, like, Chase and Brooklyn almost kissing.
Oh, yeah.
That was so good. I cannot wait for them to get together.
Yes.
Okay, anyway. He has an apartment in Port Charles. He's single and never been married. And he is the sister of Amy Driscoll. You want to get us started with the brief character history?
Sure. Chet Driscoll grew up in Port Charles, and during his high school days, he was a running back for the football team. I forget that he went to high school there. Like, I know that he had the storyline with Maxie, but I forget that was how long ago he's supposed to have been around. He was popular in school. Yes. And many girls had crushes on him, including Maxie Jones. Amy recalled that Chet had remained a salt of the earth guy, and he had stood up for a bullied kid named Jonas. I don't remember that.
I think that was just her sharing.
Like talking about him when he was a kid. I don't remember that being any real part of the storyline.
I think it was just a blip.
Chet had made certain that Jonas had been treated with respect and chauffeured to school for the rest of the year.
So sweet.
Yes. He had a promising career as a football player when he went to play college football for Wisconsin on a scholarship. And according to Amy, he had been all-conference wide receiver, but had been depressed because he was away from home. Later, he had a shoulder injury that sidelined him, so he joined the military. I don't know that I feel like that's very realistic. If you really hurt your shoulder, does the military
That's what I was
you?
You
have to go through like a medical thing first. But we're just going to assume that it was good enough because he joined the military. Unfortunately, a devastating combat injury in Afghanistan left Chet a double amputee when he lost both legs.
For a time, Chet's mother had helped care for her son upon his return home, but she passed away, and the family was forced to put Chet in a group home. Chet had no idea that his sister, who was a first-year registered nurse, moonlighted as an advice columnist online to help cover the vast medical expenses that his disability check didn't. The blog was called Ask Man Landers, and Amy presented herself as a married man dispensing romance advice to men and women. That was such a good storyline. Do you remember
not an actual book?
Mac and Felicia getting busted because they were taking Man Lander's advice behind the bushes in the park?
Yes.
Whoa!
Why is that not actually a book?
I don't know. Why is Amy not on more than she is?
I don't know, but now I want that book.
I want that blog.
Go ahead.
Yes. Amy would later reveal that the blog had been inspired by Chet because he had always given Amy great advice while she had been growing up, and he often had jokingly referred to himself as Man Landers. Because Ann Landers.
Right. On June 17th, 2017, Amy stated that she had several older brothers, but only Chet had ever been referenced. When Nathan asked about Amy's father, she always sidestepped the question, and Chet never mentioned his brother's mother or father. On November 8th of 2017, Chet arrived in the emergency room at General Hospital. He had overdosed on opioids and had been revived with Narcolan? I think it was called Narcan.
That's an L.
I know, but I thought it was called Narcan.
I think there's other things that you can be revived with. Now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, it is a. Look at you knowing your generic names for Narcan.
There you go.
Okay.
So he was revived with some Narcan. Due to an underlying infection, Dr. Hamilton Finn was assigned Chet's case, and Finn quickly recognized the signs of addiction because Finn was a recovering addict.
Again, I feel like they kind of
here and
keep
there.
it, but infectious disease doctor, addict, widower, things that we
only bring up when convenient.
Yeah.
Chet had gotten...
it should actually affect your day-to-day life.
True. Chet had gotten hooked on painkillers following his injury in the military. When Amy arrived for her shift, she then learned of her brother's overdose, and she vowed to help her brother. Chet was initially reluctant to accept help, but with Amy's support, Chet finally accepted the lifeline that Finn had tossed him. Chet also saved the day when Amy was caught in a fraud scandal. Amy had coerced her friend Nathan West to pose as Man Landers when a publisher had expressed interest in a book written by a male advice columnist. I want this book. As Amy and Nathan prepared to live stream their apology to the fans who had bought the Ask Man Landers book, Chet stepped forward, proudly wearing his military uniform and standing on his new prosthetic leg to explain that his sister had used all the money from the book deal to help with his medical expenses, and fans embraced Chet and they forgave Amy.
Why is that not a book on the Invaders?
Yeah.
She has that style blog book.
Right.
Why is Ask Man Landers not one of the books in Alexis's office right now?
Yep.
Okay. So then on January 3rd, 2019, Sonny took notice of Chet when Chet offered Sonny's father, Mike, some boxing advice. Mike Corbin recognized Chet's military tattoos, and the two men bonded over their time in the service. Sonny was impressed with Chet's knowledge and way that he handled Mike, who suffered from Alzheimer's, so he offered Chet a job as Volanino's gym manager. Chet happily accepted. And then I guess in that April of 2019, Chet was working as a second job at the Floating Rib. One night, Chet confided to Peter August that he had once had a crush on Maxie in high school. Chet knew that Maxie had been grieving the loss of her husband, but it had been over a year, and he was curious to see if she was ready to date. Peter encouraged Chet to ask Maxie out. Unfortunately for Chet, Maxie declined the date because she was interested in Peter.
Oh my God, how much different would her life have been?
We wanted her, but I mean, like, we wanted them to get together.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as we all know, the Floating Rib was blown up by Julian on November 20th, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And Chet would not be bartending there anymore.
No.
Thanks, General Hospital fandom.
On February 11th, 2022, Chet and Amy come to the hospital to collect the donation for the charity that he was working with, which we said last week or the week before. That's so sweet that he's still involved in all of those charities. Later, Chet sits next to Terry Randolph at Charlie's Pub. Terry has arranged to meet her dating app match at Charlie's on Valentine's Day. He was to be wearing a teal-colored shirt, so Terry knows who he is, and Chet revealed to be wearing... Revealed. They make it sound like he ripped his clothes off. He didn't. I wanted that. But he took his coat off and had a teal-colored shirt on. So Terry says it's nice to meet him. She was worried that he wasn't going to show, and he thinks that she's trying to use pickup lines on him.
I thought he handled that very well, too. He was very graceful and kind about, I'm not who you think I am.
Yes. Their flirting was cute. So Terry explains that she saw his teal shirt, and Chet explains to her that he isn't the person she's waiting for. She says that she wasn't sure about not sending each other photos and calls Chet Tanner. Chet apologizes and says he isn't Tanner, and then a man comes over and tells Terry that he is Tanner and their table is ready. Chet eavesdrops.
I forgot to ask that during the recap this past week. When did Charlie start doing reservations? Their tables ready?
Right, I don't know. That's weird.
There was like half, yeah.
He should have said, I got you. I got us a table.
Right.
Or whatever. Or, hi, I'm here. I picked a table.
Right. Do we want to?
Is this okay?
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry.
Nope,
There's
you're
no
right.
host stand at
Nope,
Charlie's.
there is not.
Okay.
So Chet
Sorry.
eavesdrops on Terry and Tanner's date and stops it when he can't stand to listen to it anymore. Chet claims that Terry is his girlfriend and he can't share her anymore. Tanner leaves and Chet sits down in his spot and they complain about being single and Chet says that Terry is beautiful. And we hope that there's so much more to that storyline coming up next.
But one of the best things about Chet is, as we mentioned, the character is a double amputee. However, so is the actor.
Yes.
Chris Van Etten is a real-life wounded Marine and double-leg amputee, as well as a motivational speaker and model who coincidentally shares the name with the show's co-head writer. Oh, that's why the name looks familiar.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a really not common
name.
No.
Right.
But his character, Chet Driscoll, also lost his legs in the war.
I love that they kept the storyline like that.
I do too. But again, this is someone who could have made such a significant impact and they didn't keep.
They should have had a Man Landers book. And then once everyone accepted him because of his story, they should have had him write an inspirational book on how he overcame everything and gave that book. And then he would sell 1 million copies in real life because they would stamp it with the as seen on GH, but it's a real story. And oh my God, can we do that now? Because I would buy it.
Yes. But yes. I'm just thinking, I'm like, what if they had him give a motivational speech, like on the show, like during the nurses' ball or something? Because the nurses' ball has always benefited AIDS, so we don't want to take that away.
Right. Maybe he could get up on stage at the nurses' ball to thank everyone for the donations that they made to the veterans organization that he is volunteering at. And when he explains why it is so important, he can get into his inspirational speech. And then someone can proposition him with writing his story and we can get a book out of it.
Okay.
Boom.
I agree. We need the book. We need all of it because this character, I mean, it's the same thing as what they did with Roxy. Like Roxy is now just a pet.
Right.
And not the therapeutic tool that she is meant to be. We had a great opportunity with Chet I love the fact that he's in real life a double amputee.
Right.
You know, so that's accurate portrayal of disability.
Mm-hmm. And how he was injured.
Yeah. And now we're doing the same thing with Leo. So let's stop losing the people who are making like bringing actual real life to the show.
Mm-hmm. Right. This is definitely a learning opportunity.
Yeah. I would like to see, although I guess he wouldn't. I think it would be really interesting given his background. Maybe he gets into like a little detective work or like WSB type stuff.
Maybe he can have some answers to whatever's going to unlock Drew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how they'd work that because I don't think they were in Afghanistan at the same time, but.
Well, and Drew's a Navy SEAL, so he had like even more advanced training, but
maybe some information like leaked somewhere or something that he could know.
Oh, I like that.
I just want it to connect somehow. We were talking about all the stories intertwining now. That would be a good storyline.
That would be. And, bring back Amy a little bit more would be nice,
Especially now that we have Felix back. Like, really, the nurses.
But they don't have to come back all the time together.
No,
let's just keep them.
They don't have to. No, they should all be on there all the time. I feel like hospitals need nurses. Let's keep them and their extended
Are you sure?
Families. I'm pretty sure.
Wait a second.
I'm pretty sure they don't just need one infectious disease. No. We had this week. This is not the weekly recap, but this week we did not just have Elizabeth. We had Epiphany putting Mac in his place, which we also didn't talk about in the recap. But that was good.
We missed stuff. I know. Actually,
well, we were focusing on Louise and that whole circumstance.
That is true.
But yeah, so we had 2 nurses, but we could use a few more.
And this was also a little bit of kind of background context too during the Man Landers thing is when Amy had a crazy crush on Nathan.
Crazy crush.
And he was with Maxie.
Mm-hmm. Right, because Amy's talked about not liking Maxie so much in high school. They weren't friends back then. And now they've kind of evolved into, I don't know that they're friends, but they're friendly.
Mm-hmm. I feel like they came to an understanding.
Right. You're not
that
who you were in
Maxie
high
was
school.
not 100%. Maxie was a mean girl.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Amy is kind of what really made her realize she was a mean girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's really it.
Yeah. It is like a short 411, but I hope there's so much more to say about Chet 6 months from now.
I know. Please. And don't forget to bring in his disability. Don't assume that everyone knows that, because I thought, and they did a great job with his drug addiction storyline too. So,
but I feel like that's why the storyline is going to happen with him and Terry, because not that they are at all the same thing, but he's going to explain how he's got to where he is in life, and she's going to explain to how she's got to where she is in life, and that's what's going to bring them together.
Okay.
They've both faced adversity.
I like it.
So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm excited for this one. Their flirting was just so good. Mm-hmm. Like her saying about the teal shirt, and then she was like, or armor, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
It was so cute.
Yes. So let's hope that if you're finding this episode in 2023, you're not wondering who we're talking about.
Right.
Or you're mad at us for not having said all of it because so much has happened.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's our little mini 411 for the week. But join us on Monday as we hopefully have more information to share about Chet and the rest of the shows.
Yes. So have a good weekend.
And we'll meet you at the pier.
Bye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's show, we invite you to go to peer54podcast.com to subscribe on your favorite platform. Don't forget to leave us a review. And you can also follow us on many social media channels. Just search for Peer54 Podcast. Also, we are not perfect, so if there is something that we missed or messed up, just let us know by emailing us at peer54podcast@gmail.com.